Greetings, everyone. Pete Pardo here from Sea of Tranquility. Welcome to pick number 31 of albums that are 50 years old in 2024. We've been looking back on the great year of 1974 all month long. Final pick. I picked out my 31 favorites from 1974 across all genres. And today we're also going to do honorable mentions at the end of this episode too. But here for this final episode, we're going to take a look at an album. It's the fourth studio album from this American band, released October 1974. Recorded at the Golden Voice Studios in South Pekin, Illinois. Produced by John Ryan and Bill Trout for Wooden Nickel Records. He was the Man of Miracles. Styx Man of Miracles is the pick for today. Yes, indeed. The final album for the band on Wooden Nickel Records. And a really good one. An album from the band that I think as time has gone on, I like more and more and more. And I hinted at yesterday that a change was coming. So yeah, I originally had this just outside of my top 31. And it pained me to do so. But like the more I was thinking about it, and the more I saw other people pick it during the month, I've been listening to it a bit of late, and I'm thinking, man, how can I not include this here? Because I really, really dig this album a lot. And I feel bad for Bad Company's self-titled debut because that's the one that ultimately Man of Miracles replaced. And I really like Bad Company. But this is all about our favorites, right? And which one we listen to more, which one we like more. And truth be told, a lot of you may argue that, the Bad Company album is a better album than the Styx album. It doesn't really matter because better doesn't come into the equation here. I just happen to like this album a little bit more. That's what it comes down to. So here we've got the original lineup of the band, right? Dennis DeYoung, vocals and keyboards. You got James J.Y. Young on vocals and guitars. John Kurulski on vocals, guitars, and keyboards. Chuck Pinozzo on bass and John Pinozzo on drums. And what is on this album? I mean, yeah, it's like the more I listen to this album, I was really, like yesterday, I was really in a conundrum. So what did I do? I listened to like both albums back to back a couple times during the day, and I just was left with the feeling that, rock and roll feeling, totally rocks, fun song, having a ball, another cranking track, the lovely Golden Lark, right? A song for Suzanne, so proggy. There's some really good proggy stuff on here. A Man Like Me, another great, great rocker for Mr. James Young. Lies, Lies, another good rocker. Evil Eyes, bluesy, heavy, dark, menacing. Great Dennis DeYoung song. Dennis wrote a lot of great rockers too. Southern Woman. Southern Woman is crazy. Southern Woman is just like, man, you listen to that opening guitar riff thing going on. It's just like, wait a second, is this a Lynyrd Skynyrd song? But meanwhile, Skynyrd had just really kind of burst on the scene, by 1974. The second album came out, the first album came out, a year or so before, year and a half before. So funny how they do this song that's got these like kind of totally Southern rock Skynyrd guitar licks, and then all of a sudden Hammond comes in, because half this album sounds like Uriah Heep, right? Such a great song, Southern Woman. Then you got Christopher, Mr. Christopher, another great prog track by Mr. DeYoung, and then the title track, Man of Miracles. Man, if that isn't one of the unsung great riffs of the 70s, I don't know what is. Man, the Hammond, the guitar, man, just James Young. And, James sings a bunch of songs on this album. People tend to forget that James Young, JY, and Dennis were the vocal team on all the early albums. And JY sang basically half the songs on every album. So, once Tommy came into the band, he took a little more of a step back because, obviously Tommy is the better singer. But, the heart and soul of a lot of these early Styx albums is JY, from a guitar perspective and from a vocal perspective. And him and Dennis just together, man, just plow through this album in fine fashion. Just love it. Just such a great album. I mean, this album it's a heavy rock album. For those who always, we get the select people like, Styx were never heavy. Styx never rocked. Really? Come on. Listen to this album. Lots of heavy rockers on this album. It's hard rock. It's prog. It's like, yeah, come on. Great stuff here. Charting positions here in the States, this made it to number 154 on the U.S. Billboard 200. So this is right before the band's starting to do much better, starting with Equinox next, and of course Crystal Ball, Grand Illusion, Pieces of a Cornerstone, Paradise Theater, and Kilroy. That's a run of albums that, pretty successful for the band. So, yeah, great stuff. So that is my pick for today, pick number 31. I promised we would do some honorable mentions, so let's get to those, shall we? Bear with me as I wait for my spreadsheet to open. There we go. All right, so who do we got on the honorable mentions? Let's just plow through them, shall we? Secret Oyster, Sea Sun, great European fusion band from the 70s. Awesome album. David Bowie, Diamond Dogs. The Diamond Dogs was in my original top 31. Yeah, I had a lot of movers and shakers this month. Thin Lizzy, Nightlife. Not one of my favorite Thin Lizzy albums, but it is still kind of the first album with the classic lineup of the band. Still pretty cool. Weather Report, Mysterious Traveler. Killer fusion record. Todd Rundgren's Todd album. Really like that a lot. Grateful Dead, From the Mars Hotel. Really strong Grateful Dead album. One of my favorites from the band. Uriah Heep, Wonderworld. I still really dig it. It's not one of their upper echelon albums, but I really like it a lot. Bebop Deluxe, Axe Victim, Bill Nelson and Company, killer debut album. You got Mountain Avalanche, strong one from them. The James Gang, Miami. One of their strongest albums, actually. Got Tommy Bolin on guitar, man. Some great stuff on Miami. Really, really good album. Little Feat, Feats Don't Fail Me Now. Fun album. Herbie Hancock, Thrust. Excellent funky fusion right there. ELO, Electric Light Orchestra. El Dorado, their great concept record. Traffic, When the Eagle Flies. The Rolling Stones, It's Only Rock and Roll. Yes, sir. That one I was fighting to put on my list. Another one that was on my original list and got kind of bumped for something else. I still love it. Scorpions, Fly to the Rainbow. Second album from them, debut with Uli John Roth on guitar. Maybe not quite as strong as the ones that came after with Uli, but still really good. Title track is amazing. Like I said, Bad Company. Terrific. Wishbone Ash, There's the Rub. Great album with the second lineup of the band. Joe Walsh, So What? Excellent solo album from Joe. Baker Gurvitz Army, self-titled debut. Killer. Ginger Baker and the Gurvitz brothers. Lucifer's Friend, Banquet. Excellent album from them. Not as heavy as their earlier stuff, but definitely more kind of proggy and funky in spots. A little bit more adventurous, I think. Really cool. Frank Marino, Mahogany Rush, Child of the Novelty. Excellent stuff there. Mahavishnu Orchestra, Apocalypse. A lot of you folks predicted that would be my pick today. I really like Apocalypse. I just don't like it as much as the album that would come after or the ones that came before. Apocalypse to me is a little bit, slightly too orchestral for me, but I do enjoy it quite a bit. It's got John Luke Ponty on it and Narada Michael Walden, right? Great players on it. Miles Davis, Big Fun. Got to have some Miles on here. Peter Hamill, The Silent Corner and the Empty Stage. Perhaps my favorite solo album from him. Doobie Brothers, What Were Once Vices Are Now Habits. Excellent album from the Doobies. Gong, You, one of that trio of great albums from Gong. Judas Priest, Rock-A-Rolla. Status Quo. Also, probably my favorite album from the Quo. Really cool. Sorry, Status Quo. Did I say Status Quo? Status Quo. I've been trying to get myself to say it correctly. I usually do of late. I didn't just then. Roxy Music, Country Life. The 11th House. Introducing the 11th House with Larry Coryell. Great album. Great fusion record. Debut from that band. Hatfield in the North. Self-titled debut. And last but not least, Artie and Mistieri, Tilt, the great Italian fusion / prog band. I mean, I know there's a lot of others. I could sit here all day and mention tons more, but that's basically the gist of my my favorites from '74. I'll run quickly through the whole list. Styx, Man of Miracles, Queen, 2 and Sheer Heart Attack, Gentle Giant, The Power and the Glory, UFO Phenomenon, Jethro Tull, War Child, Budgie, In for the Kills, Sweet Fanny Adams, Camel Mirage, Lynyrd Skynyrd, Second Helping, Kansas, Robin Trower, Bridge of Sighs, Stanley Clark, Grand Funk Railroad, Shining On, Yes Relayer, Blue Oyster Cult, Secret Treaties, PFM, Premiata Forneria Marconi, Lisola de Niente, Kiss, Hotter Than Hell, and the self-titled debut, King Crimson Red, Frank Zappa, as well as Starless and Bible Black. I should have done 2 for that day, right? Frank Zappa apostrophe, Deep Purple, Burn, and Stormbringer. Return to Forever, Where Have I Known You Before? Utopia, Todd Rundgren's Utopia. Rush, self-titled debut. Barclay James Harvest, Everyone Is Everybody Else. Aerosmith, Get Your Wings. Renaissance, Turn of the Cards. Supertramp, Crime of the Century. Steely Dan, Pretzel Logic. Hawkwind, Hall of the Mountain Grill. Genesis, The Lamb Lies Down on Broadway. And Bachman Turner Overdrive, otherwise known as BTO, Not Fragile. There you have it, everybody. 1974. Albums that are 50 years old in 2024, celebrating their 50th birthdays and anniversaries. That's a wrap for this month. Another month goes by, just like that. But tomorrow, we start fresh because we're doing the exact same thing for 1984. Albums that are 40 years old in 2024. 29 days in the month. I've already picked out my 29 favorites. I got them ready to go. Hope you got yours ready to go. And we'll see you tomorrow for pick number 1. Till then, visit us on the web at www.seatranquility.org. We're on Facebook, we're on YouTube, all together, all the damn time. Please subscribe if you haven't already and click on that notification bell so you get alerted of all of our content as it posts. And please do hit the like button before you leave. Also, down below, down there, we got the links to our Ko-Fi page for channel donations, our merch page, and our Cameo page. Cameo is pretty cool. If you want me to do a personalized video for you, for a friend or loved one who watches the show, birthday wish, anniversary wish, maybe just got a couple general questions for me. That's what that's all about. Thank you in advance for that. Always fun. And like I said, we'll see you tomorrow for pick number 1 of albums that are 40 years old in 2024. Also coming up on the channel, should have a few reviews for you here today throughout the day. Also, we've got a very cool interview tonight with Chris Reifert from Autopsy, the legendary death metal band, alongside John McEntee from Incantation, Ryan Scow, Count Ralphus, and Nick Franco from the Hudson Valley Squares. It's a night of death metal, so stay tuned for that cool chat and interview tonight on the channel. We've also got another interview scheduled for this week. We've got Drop D and Max Boogie from Max Boogie Overdrive. We're going to be talking to them about this cool new stoner rock band and the new album, Stoned Again. That's coming up also this week. We've got Martin Popoff and I at the Funhouse. We've also got Ranking the Albums coming up this weekend. Nick Franco and I will be ranking the albums of Anathema. We've been talking about it forever. It's finally happening, so stay tuned for that and lots more here on the channel. I'm Pete Pardo. Thanks for watching, everybody. See you soon. Thanks for playing along all month, but we'll see you next month for another one. Take care. Bye-bye.